The Guardian. And Leo, who is getting a pardon?
So the Home Office is expanding its scheme to pardon those criminalised for gay activity. So for the first time, women will be able to apply for their records to be wiped if they... That's a criminal record. I don't know why. Maybe things got out of hand and it sprayed the bookcase and the record collection. No. If they've been convicted or cautioned under any repealed or abolished offences relating to same-sex activity. So up until now, I didn't realise this, up until now it's only been men who've been able to get their records wiped clean.
But, I mean, Diane, I'm not aware, because, and this is just possibly and most likely to be just massive ignorance on my behalf, but, you know, there are these great figures of misjustice amongst gay men in terms of Oscar Wilde, you had Alan Turing, but I'm not aware of lesbians who, I'm not saying they haven't faced discrimination, but in terms of in the courts, and are you aware that there are these great historical injustices that need to be sorted out?
I don't think it needs to be famous to be a historical injustice.
Well, or not, I'm just not aware of any cases of, like, lesbians being sent to jail for being a lesbian.
Yeah, but I mean, it's probably because women are just generally sort of erased from history anyway. Sort of, we don't get Nobel Prizes when we've actually been instrumental in detecting the pulsar.
Well, that's also to do with being good at science.
No, Jocelyn Bell Burnell, shut up, she didn't get a Nobel Prize for discovering the pulsar. Hush your mouth.
But isn't that also to do with,
so
in this
I'm not
case,
sure why
the pulsar is a great car.
Yeah, but it's still an injustice. I don't know why it has to be.
No, but what are the injustices? What I'm saying is there were lots of gay men who were arrested for being gay.
Alan Turing.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
But,
whereas I'm not sure of these evidence of lesbians being arrested for being lesbians.
Women were kicked out of the art. Well, I'm sure you are wrong.
To quote The Office, I think it's always been seen as a bit more light-hearted. Lesbianism, so maybe there wasn't as much.
Well, as long as you quote The Office, then they'll cancel The Office. But no, right. The example that they're using is really this applies to women in the army being kicked out of the army for being gay.
Yeah.
I don't know why you give me that weird look, because it's kind of horrible.
I think, well, you deserve that look.
Why?
Because I think that you're being quite dismissive of lesbians' experiences throughout history, just because you don't know of any famous
Well, I was
ones.
wondering. Well, no, I'm not being dismissive. I'm asking if women were being arrested in the same rate that gay men were being arrested in the last 30, 40 years ago for some of these things that are now being dealt with historically.
Well, I'm pretty sure that if they now can appeal for a pardon, they were being arrested. So I don't know why you're questioning it.
It doesn't give any examples, is my point. All it talks about is the army.
Is that not surely just poor journalism, then?
What?
In The Guardian?
I don't know, so you don't have an answer either. So please don't look
well,
like
if
that.
you
Thank
had...
you. The Mail Now.
Well, no, wait. If you had asked me beforehand, but you haven't talked to me all evening, but if you had asked me beforehand to look up... Oh, by the way, I'm going to ask you this question, then I would have done the research.
Well, it's not about the research. My point is they didn't bring this up in the article, so it would suggest that there's very few examples, if any. That's
but why does that make their experience any less valid?
Well, if they haven't actually been arrested and then it doesn't actually apply to people, then it's not about valid or not. It doesn't give any examples here. Anyway.
This is great. I'm
the
really enjoying
Mail
this.
Now.